আজকের টপিক হচ্ছে নিওনেটাল সিজার, নিওনেটাল হাইপোগ্লাইসেমিয়া, নিওনেটাল হাইপোক্যালসিমিয়া। ফার্স্ট, নিওনেটাল হাইপোগ্লাইসেমিয়া, ব্লাড গ্লুকোজ লেভেল লেস দেন 40 মিলিগ্রাম পার ডেসিলিটার হলে আমরা নিওনেটাল হাইপোগ্লাইসেমিয়া বলবো। আর প্লাজমা গ্লুকোজ লেভেল লেস দেন 45 মিলিগ্রাম পার ডেসিলিটার। আর একটা জিনিস হচ্ছে ট্রানজিশনাল neonatal hypoglycemia. After birth, within 1 to 2 hours, blood sugar level may reach as low as 30 milligram per deciliter. This is called transitional neonatal hypoglycemia. This is common in normal newborns and this is absolutely normal. Screening for hypoglycemia. কাদের কাদের আমরা স্ক্রিন করব? High risk babies. High risk babies means birth weight less than 2000 gram. Low birth weight baby, preterm baby, gestational age less than or equal to 35 weeks. 35 weeks or less. Small for gestational age infants. SGA babies. SGA babies means birth weight less than 10th percentile. And large for gestational age infants, LGA. LGA means birth weight more than 90th percentile. So SGA birth weight less than 10th percentile, LGA birth weight more than 90th percentile. IDM, infant of diabetic mothers due to hyperinsulinemia. Then neonates with RH hemolytic disease. Neonates born to mothers receiving therapy with terbutaline, propranolol, labetalol or any oral hypoglycemic agents. Neonates with morphological features of growth restriction, IUGR, intrauterine growth restriction. What will be the features? Like 3 or more loose folds of skin around buttocks and thighs, loss of subcutaneous fat and difference between head circumference and chest circumference will be more than 3 centimeter. Then any sick neonates, maybe with perinatal asphyxia, maybe with polycythemia, sepsis, shock, okay, any neonate with unstable vitals. Then family history of genetic form of hypoglycemia. If there is family history of hypoglycemia, then we have to screen the newborn baby. And some syndromes like Beckwith-Whitman syndrome, and if there is abnormal features like midline facial malformations or microphallus, and neonates on TPN, total parenteral nutrition. So these are the criteria or high risk babies যাদের আমরা স্ক্রিন করব for hypoglycemia. Schedule for screening. When to check blood sugar level? High risk neonates, time schedule at 2 hours, then 6 hours, then 12 hours, then 24, then 48, then 72 hours of life. 72 hours of life is not that much essential, but rest 2, 6, 12, 24, 48 hours. Sick neonates, that is with sepsis, perinatal asphyxia, shock, every 6 to 8 hours at a regular interval. Every 6 to 8 hours we have to check blood sugar level of neonates. And those neonates who are on TPN, total parenteral nutrition, initial 72 hours we will check blood sugar level every 6 to 8 hours, 6 hourly or 8 hourly, and after 72 hours once a day. What are the causes of hypoglycemia in neonates? First, inadequate glycogen stores. Then hyperinsulinism, that is in case of infant of diabetic mother. Perinatal stress or asphyxia. Metabolic disorders like glycogen storage disease and endocrine disorder like cortisol deficiency or growth hormone deficiency. Then what are the methods of blood glucose estimation? First, point of care reagent strips. We commonly do it in the emergency, okay, but it is not that much reliable. It is only for screening. After screening, we have to confirm that result with laboratory diagnosis. That is the gold standard for measuring blood glucose. We have to collect blood in a fluoride vial and we will send it to the lab. That is the reliable and gold standard method for measuring blood glucose. So, first is screening and second one is confirmatory. How will the neonate present in a case of hypoglycemia? May be asymptomatic. There are two types, asymptomatic hypoglycemia or symptomatic hypoglycemia. So, the child or neonate may be asymptomatic. And in symptomatic hypoglycemia, what will be the clinical features? Lack of feeding or poor feeding, lethargy or hypotonia, hypothermia, irritability or jitterness or tremors, seizures, or maybe cyanosis or apnea. So, how to diagnose asymptomatic hypoglycemia? If the neonate is not presenting any clinical features of hypoglycemia and blood glucose level is less than 40, that is asymptomatic hypoglycemia. And symptomatic hypoglycemia, same, blood glucose level is less than 40 milligram per deciliter, but with the symptoms, any one or more symptoms will be present there. So, how to treat? We will check the blood glucose level. If blood glucose level is less than 40, then it is either less than asymptomatic or symptomatic. Symptomatic including seizures, any symptom. In asymptomatic hypoglycemia, if blood glucose level is 20 to 40 milligram per deciliter, then oral feeds will be introduced, trial of oral feeds, and we will recheck the blood sugar after 1 hour. If the blood glucose level after 1 hour will be more than 40 milligram per deciliter, then frequent oral feeds will be given and blood sugar will be checked at a regular interval 6 hourly, and we will stop CBG or blood sugar checking after 48 hours, okay. And considering that feeding is normal, baby is taking proper feeds at a regular intervals. And in case of symptomatic hypoglycemia, or if the blood glucose level is less than 20 milligram per deciliter in asymptomatic hypoglycemia, or after giving trial of oral feeds, again the blood sugar level is less than 40 milligram per deciliter, then we have to give IV glucose. In symptomatic, whether the baby or neonate is having convulsion, then immediately we will give bolus of 2 ml per kg 10% glucose or 10D, 10% dextrose. Then IV glucose infusion at a rate of, we will start at a rate of 6 milligram per kg per minute, and monitor, we will monitor hourly. If hypoglycemia is persistent, then we will increase the dose at a rate of 2 milligram per kg per minute. So, from 6 to 8 to 10 milligram per kg per minute. And after monitoring, if the blood sugar level is more than 50 milligram per deciliter, then two values we have to measure. If two values of blood sugar is more than 50, then we will gradually decrease the dose of IV glucose administration. So, from 6 to 4, 4 to 2, okay. So, and along with the weaning, we will also introduce the oral feeds. So ultimately our target is omit IV fluid, IV glucose and introduce oral feeds, and we will continue monitoring 6 hourly. So when to stop the IV glucose? When the rate is 4 milligram per kg per minute and the infant is stable. Generally we don't decrease the dose below 4 milligram per kg per minute, and if blood sugar level is less than 50, then we will increase the glucose by 2 milligram per kg per minute. We can increase the dose up to 12 milligram per kg per minute. When hypoglycemia is still persistent, even after giving more than 12 milligram per kg per minute, that is resistant hypoglycemia, then we have to refer to specialist, or we can give these drugs like hydrocortisone, steroid, diazoxide, okay, glucagon octreotide. How to prevent? Identify high risk infants as early as possible. Initiate early feeding as early as possible, within 1 hour of birth, both in normal delivery and cesarean section. Maintain thermal stability. Hypothermia should be prevented, and glucose monitoring in high risk neonates at regular intervals. What can be the complications of neonatal hypoglycemia? Neurological injury, developmental delay, seizure or convulsion, and if there is severe or prolonged hypoglycemia and the child is kept without treatment, then it may progress to cerebral palsy. Next, neonatal hypocalcemia. Hypocalcemia আমরা কখন বলবো? When total serum calcium is less than 7 milligram per deciliter in preterm infants or less than 8 milligram per deciliter in term babies, and ionic serum calcium when less than 4 milligram per deciliter in preterm babies and less than 4.8 milligram per deciliter in term babies. Measuring ionic serum calcium is of more value. Early neonatal hypocalcemia or early onset neonatal hypocalcemia and late onset neonatal hypocalcemia. Early onset hypocalcemia is more common and generally seen within the first 3 to 4 days. Actually before 72 hours, within 72 hours is early onset hypocalcemia, after 72 hours is late onset hypocalcemia. Late onset hypocalcemia usually presents at the end of first week and it is usually symptomatic. What are the symptoms? Maybe neonatal tetany or seizures, and is generally caused by high phosphate intake. What are the causes of early onset hypocalcemia? Prematurity, preterm babies, mother having preeclampsia, infant of diabetic mother, any stress, perinatal asphyxia, then maternal intake of anticonvulsants, phenobarbital or phenytoin, maternal hyperparathyroidism and iatrogenic due to alkalosis, use of blood products, diuretics, phototherapy and lipid infusions. So even phototherapy can lead to early onset neonatal hypocalcemia. So history is important, whether the mother taking any anticonvulsant drug or mother having diabetes, okay, or any history of preeclampsia or eclampsia. How the neonate will present, clinical presentation. Again, it may be asymptomatic or symptomatic. Asymptomatic will be without symptoms, and in symptomatic, what are the symptoms? What are the clinical features? neuromuscular irritability, and the neonate will present with myoclonic jerks, jitteriness, startle and seizures. Cardiac involvement. What are the cardiac involvement? Tachycardia, heart rate will be increased, heart failure, QT interval will be more and decreased contractility. Other features are apnea, cyanosis, tachypnea, vomiting and laryngospasm. How to diagnose? By measuring total or ionic serum calcium. Ionized calcium is the more preferable mode of diagnosis. And ECG, QTC. QTC is the duration between QF and end of TOF, and this QOTC is the duration or interval between QF and onset of TOF. So, this is onset of TOF and this is the duration of end of TOF. So, in symptomatic early onset neonatal hypocalcemia, QOTC will be more than 0.22 seconds and QTC will be more than 0.45 seconds. How to treat? If the neonate is asymptomatic, then we will give calcium at a rate of 80 milligram per kg per day, okay, for 48 hours. Then we will taper the dose to 40 milligram per kg per day for 1 day and then stop. So, 80 milligram per kg per day for 2 days, then 40 milligram per kg per day for 1 day and then stop. And in symptomatic hypocalcemia, we will give a bolus of 2 ml per kg calcium gluconate mixed with either 5% dextrose. The ratio will be 1:1. If the calcium gluconate is 5 ml, then we will add 5 ml 5% dextrose and we will give it over 10 minutes, slow infusion under cardiac monitoring, followed by again the same like asymptomatic hypocalcemia, 80 milligram per kg per day for 2 days, then 40 milligram per kg per day for 1 day and then stop. Side effects. What are the side effects of giving calcium in side effects of early onset neonatal hypocalcemia? Bradycardia and arrhythmia, and when we are giving calcium gluconate or Calglu, then there is chances of skin and subcutaneous tissue necrosis. There is high chance of extravasation in giving the calcium gluconate in peripheral cannula or peripheral route. Then late onset hypocalcemia, what are the causes? Increased phosphate load. If we give cow milk or there is renal insufficiency, so there will be phosphate will be more. Then hypomagnesemia, vitamin D deficiency in newborn or maternal vitamin D deficiency, malabsorption, hepatobiliary disease, parathormone resistance and transient neonatal pseudo hypoparathyroidism. And hypoparathyroidism, some syndrome like DiGeorge syndrome, okay. So, these are the causes. Then what are the investigations? Some first line investigations, some second line. First line investigations are serum phosphate, serum alkaline phosphatase, liver function test, renal function test. We will investigate according to the causes of late onset hypocalcemia, hepatobiliary disease for liver function test, vitamin D deficiency, so vitamin D test, okay. Serum phosphate, alkaline phosphatase, liver function test, renal function test, X-ray, chest or wrist, and arterial pH in ABG, arterial blood gas. Then second line investigations are, if the first line investigations come out normal, then second line investigations. Second line, magnesium, serum magnesium, parathormone, vitamin D, urine, calcium creatinine ratio, and maternal calcium phosphate and alkaline phosphatase. Initial treatment is same like early onset hypocalcemia, and the main treatment will be according to the causes. If the late onset hypocalcemia is due to high phosphate load, then we have to do what? Exclusive breastfeeding should be encouraged and animal milk or cow milk should be discontinued. Cow milk will increase the phosphate level. And if there is late onset hypocalcemia due to hypomagnesemia, we will give 2 doses of intramuscular Maxulf. Maxulf 0.2 ml per kg, 50% Maxulf will be given intramuscularly 12 hours apart. This will be the loading dose, and maintenance dose 0.2 ml per kg per day Maxulf per oral for 3 days. If there is hypoparathyroidism, again reduction of the phosphate load is important. So here cow milk should be discontinued and those neonates will be supplemented with calcium and vitamin D3. Calcium dose 50 milligram per kg per day in 3 divided doses, and 125 dihydroxy vitamin D3 dose 0.5 to 1 microgram per day. If late onset neonatal hypocalcemia due to vitamin D deficiency, then these infants will also have hypocalcemia along with hypophosphatemia. So we will give 125 dihydroxy vitamin D supplementation in vitamin D deficiency. Dose will be 30 to 60 nanogram per kg per day. So basically late onset neonatal hypocalcemia definitive treatment is according to the cause. Last topic, neonatal seizures. What are neonatal seizures? Neonatal seizures are abnormal repetitive electrical discharges in the brain, typically occur within the first 28 days, that is the neonatal period. Common neurological emergency, yes, seizure, neonatal seizure is an emergency and it indicates brain injury or any stress or brain dysfunction. What are the causes? Hypoglycemia, hypocalcemia and hypomagnesemia. Perinatal asphyxia or HIE, intracranial hemorrhage, any infections like meningitis, encephalitis, or maybe due to genetic or metabolic disorders. But common causes are hypoglycemia, hypocalcemia and perinatal asphyxia or HIE. Types. What are the types? Subtle seizures, like not generalized, not GTCS. Subtle seizures like eye deviation, just eye deviation or just lip smacking, apnea, limb movements, cycling or paddling. Baby cycling korche, that is also another form of neonatal seizure. Clonic seizures, rhythmic jerking of limbs or face. Jerking will be at a rhythm. Tonic seizures, contraction of the limbs, flexion or extension, and that will be sustained, that is tonic seizure. And myoclonic seizures will be very brief, just like jerks, shock like jerks. What are the investigations to be done in neonatal seizures? What are the essential investigation? Blood sugar, serum, sodium, calcium, then CSF examination in meningitis, encephalitis, USG brain, EEG or amplitude integrated EEG. Video EEG will be better. And then what are the additional investigations? Essential investigations are for the common causes of neonatal seizures, and additional investigations, hematocrit, because polycythemia is a cause for neonatal seizure. So, we have to check the hematocrit level. Then if the baby is icteric, serum bilirubin, serum magnesium, then ABG, arterial blood gas and anion gap. If the baby presents with vomiting, lethargy, then we will do ABG and anion gap to rule out metabolic disorder or metabolic causes of neonatal seizure. Then imaging, neuroimaging, CT and MRI. Any intracranial bleed may be there or perinatal asphyxia, HIE, so CT and MRI. Then torch screen for torch infections, congenital infections, and workup for inborn error of metabolism, IM panel we have to send. How to manage neonatal seizure? First, we have to identify and find out the type or character of seizure. Then, first we will secure the airway, and airway, after that breathing to the circulation and temperature. Oxygen will be given, blood samples will be taken and sent for hematocrit, metabolic screen, blood sugar, calcium, magnesium, sodium, okay. Then if the baby is hypoglycemic, blood sugar less than 40 milligram per deciliter, we will give IV glucose or 10% dextrose at a rate 2 ml per kg, followed by continuous infusion of 6 to 8 milligram per kg per minute. We will give 2 loading doses of 10% dextrose. If after 2 loading doses hypoglycemia is still present, then we will start continuous infusion. And if CBG is normal, then we will check serum calcium level. If serum calcium level is low, then 2 ml per kg, 10% calcium gluconate we will give under cardiac monitoring. And if CBG is normal, calcium level is also normal, then we will give phenobarbital, anticonvulsant phenobarbital. Dose will be 20 milligram per kg IV over 20 minutes. Then if still seizures continue, then we will give half loading. Loading is 20 milligram per kg, half loading is 10 milligram per kg. Then we will give half loading 10 milligram per kg dose twice. So 120 and twice at a rate 10 milligram per kg, total 40. We will give phenobarbital till the total dose of 40 milligram per kg is achieved. After giving the highest dose 40 milligram per kg phenobarbital, still seizures continue, then we will give second drug, that is phenytoin. Phenytoin 20 milligram per kg IV route over 20 minutes. Nowadays we also give Levera. So we may give phenytoin or may give Levera, levetiracetam. If still seizures continue, we will repeat phenytoin 10 milligram per kg per dose like phenobarbital half loading, and if still seizures continue, then we have to give midazolam infusion. Lorazepam or midazolam bolus, one bolus we can give, and after that midazolam infusion. We will start from 4 microgram per kg per minute. Then if seizures controlled, we will reduce the dose of anticonvulsants, and levetiracetam or lidocaine may be considered as second line agents in place of phenytoin. How to taper the anticonvulsant drugs? It is very easy to administer anticonvulsant, but it is very tough to reduce or taper the anticonvulsant drugs. So, newborn on anticonvulsant. During discharge, we will taper all drugs except phenobarbital. We will discharge the baby only in phenobarbital. And prior to discharge, we have to do neurological examination, whether the baby is neurologically normal or not. If normal, then phenobarbital will be omitted, and if neurological examination is normal, then continue phenobarbital for 1 month, and again we will ask the parents to come with the baby after 1 month, and again we will examine the baby, neurological examination. Again neurological examination, if is normal, then we will taper the drugs over 2 weeks, and if abnormal, we have to do EEG. EEG brain. If EEG is normal, then we will taper the drugs over 2 weeks, and if abnormal, then we have to continue phenobarbital and reassess after 3 months. কিছু কোশ্চেন আছে? All are symptoms of neonatal hypoglycemia except কোনটা হবে? Hypothermia. Then 4 days old outborn neonate admitted with active convulsion. After airway breathing circulation, we checked the blood sugar level, that is 22 milligram per deciliter. কি করব আমরা? Symptomatic hypoglycemia, hypoglycemia with seizures. তো আমরা 10% dextrose দেব IV. Okay, stat. All can lead to neonatal seizure except hyperglycemia. Hypocalcemia in a term baby if ionic calcium is less than 4.8. In preterm baby 4, in term baby 4.8. Okay. अच्छा आरकटा. All are causes of early onset neonatal hypocalcemia except prematurity, birth asphyxia, infant of diabetic mother, cow milk injection. Cow milk injection. Cow milk injection ছিল cause of late onset neonatal hypocalcemia, যেখানে হাই ফসফেট লোড ছিল। ঠিক আছে, তাহলে কাউ মিল্ক ইনজেকশনটা হবে অ্যান্সার।